Hi, kindergarten parents. This week in Word Study On Demand, I'm going to start working on some reading strategies for your kids to watch the videos and learn some strategies that they can use independently in their reading. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our philosophy at Brooke about learning how to read and how you can help your child at home. So our biggest goal in teaching kids how to read is to help them develop the tools to be able to be independent readers on their own. That can be really frustrating because that means that kids have to sit there and struggle with a word or struggle with a book. And it can be frustrating, I know, for a parent to sit and listen to your child struggle through their reading. But I promise you that some of the things that I'm going to teach you in this video now, if you do them with your child, you'll see an enormous amount of growth in the way that they can figure out words on their own and not get discouraged if they can't figure something out right away. So I hope that this is really helpful for you. So the first type of books that we work on with kids to help them develop their reading skills are pattern books. I'm going to put a link to a bunch of books that you can just download onto your iPad down below. So if you don't have any pattern books at home, you can still practice this with your child. The idea with these pattern books is that the same couple of words repeat on each page, and then just the last word will change. So it will say something like, I can see a blue ball. I can see a red ball. I can see a yellow ball. And in each picture, the kids will be able to see the color of that ball. When we're reading these books with kids at school, what we'll do and what I suggest you do as a parent at home is read the first 2 pages to your child so that they can start to hear the pattern. And I'll point to the words while I read it. So if I was reading this book to a kid at school, I would say, this is a book about a little boy who picks up everything that's on the floor in his room. This page says, I pick up my ball. And I'll point to the words while I'm saying that. I pick up my book. Then I'll have them read those pages again. If I think they need this extra support, or I'll also say something like, do you see in the picture the little boy is picking up the ball? And do you see in this picture the little boy is picking up the book? Let's pay attention to the pictures to see what he picks up next. Then I'll turn the page and I'll say, okay, now you read. And I want to hear what they'll say. Now, a lot of times kids will say something like, I pick up my, and then they'll stop at a word. And this is where your help comes in. I'll hear a lot of parents say things like, it's the thing you wear on your feet. You just got new ones this weekend. And that's super helpful for kids to figure out the word shoes. But it doesn't actually give them the tools to be able to figure out any additional words on any other pages or help them develop any of their reading skills. So instead of giving them a hint just about the word that they're stuck on, I would say something like, can you look at the picture and see what the little boy is picking up? Say that they look in the picture and they say, I pick up my sneakers. I would say, yeah, that could totally be the word sneakers. You're exactly right. Except I'm looking at the first sound of this word. Can you tell me what the first sound of the word is that you're stuck on? And then they would say, SH says shh. Okay, so is there anything in the picture that starts with shh? Oh, he's picking up his shoes. Yeah, let's keep reading. So then the kid goes to the next page. I pick up my baseball hat. You can do the same thing. Yeah, that could totally say baseball hat, except I'm looking at the word and there's just one word there that starts with H. So the more that you're directing kids to the words on the page, I think the better they're going to feel about being able to independently figure out the words in their books. As their reading progresses a little more, the books will get a little bit longer, the words will get a little bit trickier, and sometimes the pattern doesn't start until the second page. So there'll be something like random on the first page, like in this one, it says, I must have grown over the summer. For kids who are struggling to read that page, I would just read it to them and then have them read it again and not really focus on any of the strategies that you want them using. You can just say, like, this is a silly page, it doesn't follow the pattern. And then the rest of the pages in the book will follow the pattern. So you can do the same thing, but just starting on the next page. If there are words when you're reading with your child that you know are just like longer than they can figure out right now, or there's not really a clue in the picture, I wouldn't have them struggle with it for too long. I would just tell them what that word is, because there's nothing that they're going to do that's going to help them figure it out. So you can just say, like, I'm going to tell you this word because it's a long one. Then let's keep reading and use the same strategies that you're practicing on the words that they really can figure out. The more that kids read the same books, the better they get at reading. And I've had a lot of parents ask me, like, oh, I think they're just memorizing this book. That's awesome. If you do notice that your kids are memorizing the book and they're not paying attention to the words at the bottom anymore, I would just encourage them to point to each word as they're saying the part that they memorized. But memorizing words is exactly how your kids are going to remember all of the words that they need to know to be able to read. So if you do notice that now they're opening up the same book that they've read 3 days in a row and they're just saying, my old shirt is too small, my old sweatshirt is too small, my old pants are too small, I would just have them slow down and say, can you point to those words? You can also ask them to go back and say, okay, you just said this page says my old sweatshirt is too small. Can you find the word sweatshirt? Just so you're having them pay a little bit more attention to the words on the page. In the videos this week, I'm going to teach your kids that reading really is a superpower and it's something that they can develop and get better and better and better at. So I am excited for you to get to see your child grow as a reader. And on behalf of all of the kindergarten teachers, we really appreciate all of the time that you're putting in at home to help them grow as a reader. And we hope that you will be really impressed in the next few weeks and months as they start to be able to read trickier and trickier books.